Woohoo! Merry Christmas!
I didn't choose the Bud Life. The Bud Life chose me. While they panicked, I made coffee. While they ran, I grabbed a spoon. Guess who's still alive? I'm smiling.
Snow is just flowing off that plateau up there. Spectacular. Snow is just flowing off that plateau up there. Spectacular. There's some incredible waves way out there. Oh, here the wind is picking up. Now we're gonna go around this corner here. I think this is one of the harshest corners